Hari Om. Welcome to the 32nd Vedānta Jñana Yajña. Shall we begin with a gentle prayer? Please join me. समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ. I continue from where we left last time. In the last session, we established the union, nay, the oneness of the Jiva and the Ishvara. This is where we left, and it was explained that this oneness has been explained not anywhere else but in the Vedas themselves. And today we are going to explore that where in Vedas these great statements called Mahavakyas have been explained. To realize one's true nature is the very goal of human life, and to impart this knowledge of the self is the very purpose of Vedas. The statement in the Vedas that indicate the unity of the Jiva and the infinite truth are called the great statements, the Mahavakyas. Many such statements are found in the Vedas, but 4 amongst them have been very, very famous. One from each Veda. One amongst them is the Tat Tvam Asi-That, that thou art, which we are speaking about. It is found in the Chandogya Upanishad of the Samaveda, in a dialogue between the sage Dalaka and his disciple Shvetaketu. Therefore, all these Vedas are actually dialogues. They are the expression of the Guru, his complete knowledge which he has received in the highest state of meditation, which he has now come to live, is imparted, and that Veda is that thou art. That statement is that thou art from the Chandogya Upanishad of the Samaveda. The Guru explains that the truth alone existed before creation. From it emerged the entire creation, just as ornaments come out of gold. That truth, Tat, alone are Asi, you, Tvam. In the beginning, when somebody hears this, that the Jiva and Ishvara, the Alpa, the small self, us, and the Ananta, Ishvara, which is boundless, infinite God, are nothing but one, some may find it blasphemy. Some, out of their softness of the mind, they say, no, it is just an exaggeration so that the Jiva feels good. Yes, some of them say this also, that there may be some aspects of us and that Ishvara, the God, which are similar to each other. That's why we may feel that we and Ishvara, him, are one. But going further, we will explain to you, it is not so. So this query or this question that arises in some people's mind, that how can it be that the Jiva and Ishvara are one? And how does the great statement like that thou art or thou art that, Tat Tvam Asi, these great statements, how can they be true? At this point, the Shastra gets our mind to a very important aspect. In this statement, thou word, the word thou, you, tat, you. What does it mean by you? It clearly says that it does not mean, when it says you, is this little you who is identified with the gross body, with the subtle body. No, not that. Not this which is made up of the Panch Mahabhuta. Not that thou, but that consciousness which resides in you. So, when the words of Shastra have to be understood, you must understand that it is not speaking in the literal meaning of the word, thou meaning you, this body, but the deep-rooted, implicated meaning, that thou which is enlivening this gross and the subtle body. Similarly, the word meaning of that in the statement that thou art, Tat Tvam Asi, the literal meaning of that is the Ishvara, which is conditioned by all its powers. No, it is not. It is not indicating to that, but it is also indicating over there to the deep-rooted meaning that whereby the consciousness, the pure consciousness, which is all-pervading, which is limitless, that thou is what has been indicated. Thus, there is no contradiction between the Jiva and Ishvara from the standpoint of consciousness. The Jiva is also the boundless spirit consciousness, and the Ishvara is also the boundless consciousness. Both are unconditioned. In the unconditioned form, in the unconditioned consciousness, the Ishvara and Jiva are one. Therefore, when these great statements are heard or read, one should not make the mistake of taking these words literally. That just when you read a word in Sanskrit, pick up a Sanskrit to English dictionary and read, thou art that, Tat Tvam Asi. Oh, I understood what thou are that meaning. No, you will be deluded for the rest of your life. Not only life, lives to come. If you try to understand these great statements, or for that matter, all the Shastras by literal translation, every single word, every single statement has a twin or a deep-rooted meaning. The first meaning is, which is the literal meaning, the Vachya Artha. The second or the deep-rooted meaning, which is called the Laksha Artha, is beautifully explained by the Guru, that what does that mean. And only when we understand the deep-rooted, implicated meaning of these great statements, that one comes to realize what these statements are. Therefore, the Shastra has clearly explained to us that Shrutim Patha Gurun Mukha, that always understand Shruti, means Vedas or scriptures, by the explanation of your master, your teacher. The teacher explains that the literal meaning of thou is this Jiva. If we understand, then this Jiva is the limited one, which is identified by the gross body, by the subtle body, by the three states of consciousness or time. He is limited, she is limited. When we understand the literal meaning of the word Ishvara, that, that it has this power, it has that power, it is the creator, it is the annihilator, it is the sustainer. These are also nothing but identification, and they also limit the Ishvara. But when the Guru explains in the deep understanding of this word meaning, that thou art, where he points out clearly that you, who is the indweller of this gross body, who enlivens the subtle body, because of whose presence the entire gross and subtle body comes to live, is that consciousness. And that consciousness is always pure. It is so complete. It is infinite. And in the same way, Ishvara, where the consciousness is pointed out, that Ishvara and this Jiva, which are nothing but Prajnana, consciousness, are one and the same. Therefore, we understand that the Shastra is pointing, the Guru is explaining to the essence of what we are, the Jiva and Ishvara, that is existence, consciousness and bliss. Sat, Chit, Ananda. But this truth to realize this truth, we have to take our attention away from the gross and subtle to the essence. Only when our mind passes through all these gross things, and reaches the point of oneness, what we call as Samadhi, the perfect union of the Jiva as well as the Ishvara. At that stage, one realizes the essence as one. In that oneness, we have no conditioning, no bondage. There we are conditionless self, pure self. To reach that stage, the inquiry has to start. Whether the inquiry starts that who is that Ishvara, or who am I? Whichever way you want to start the inquiry must begin. The end result will be the same. When you inquire into the self, you will find that the statement that thou art, Tat Tvam Asi, which is a Upadesha Vakya, a statement by the Guru, is realized by the student. And at the highest state of realization, as it is called Samadhi, highest state of meditation, the student comes to know that Aham Brahmasmi, I am that. And therefore, we all would want to know how to reach that state of Samadhi, where the conditionings are fallen away, where you drop off all the limitation and be one with your own true self. And this is the topic for our next week. These people who have reached that state, they are called men of perfection. So let us wait for the next Sunday session and understand how to reach the state of perfection. Kindly join me for the end. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.